Could I pet the doggy? I could go grab him from your RV right now.
I won't even let you pick up the dog shit.
I like Life is Strange. Like, I really like Life is Strange. It's what got me into story-driven games. I fell in love with the characters, the plot, the messages, everything. Obviously, there are quite a bit of things to be criticized, and I'll be looking into one of those things in this video. And by one of those things, I mean one of those characters, Frank Bowers. So, spoilers for the first and the prequel game, Life is Strange, and Life is Strange Before the Storm. Content warning for grooming.
Jesus, okay. But I'm not getting you high.
Frank is a man properly introduced in episode 2. He's a drug dealer who deals mainly to Blackwell kids. He also loves dogs and even rescued his own dog, Pompidou.
Where did he get the pup?
Frank used to bet on dog fights. Now, to his credit, he had a revelation. He saved a bunch of the dogs, kept one for himself.
Chloe, our deuteragonist, is indebted to him because she is constantly buying drugs, and Frank allows her to put off payments. Among other things, the game focuses on finding missing girl Rachel Amber, Chloe's friend. We end up finding out that she had a close relationship with Frank. By close relationship, I obviously mean a romantic and possibly sexual relationship. Obviously. In episode 4, Rachel is discovered to be dead, and if you tell this to Frank in episode 5, he becomes extremely upset.
Rachel is dead.
Fuck you, Max. No way. She left town. She's gone. How do you know, huh? How?
So that's great. That's Frank's character. He sells drugs and lives in an RV with his dog. He's extremely rough around the edges, but on the inside, he has a soft spot for his lover. She, along with his dog, are the most important things in his life. Oh yeah. And Rachel's only 18.
You and Chloe do not know Rachel like I did, and I couldn't even help her. You're in way over your heads.
Rachel is a very polarizing figure in the Life is Strange universe.
Rachel? Whatever the fuck. Oh look, Max Amber.
As you can see, Rachel Amber was my favorite model here. She knew exactly what angles worked best with my eye.
Rachel used to hang out with us too. She was a blast. Smart, not bitchy like, you know.
So you knew Rachel Amber?
I knew she liked to party. Fun to be around. Oh yeah, and she was hot.
She was my angel. After my dad died and you moved, I felt abandoned. Rachel saved my life.
You mean Rachel Amber?
Well, I guess. I bet she ran away because she was bored.
Good morning, Joyce.
Rachel, I mean Max. Whew, you startled me. Well, you fit those clothes well. Thank God you're not a hellraiser like her or Chloe.
I don't think Jefferson is into her.
I don't think she's closed the deal, but she's not the only player.
Now, how do you know this?
You have a lot to learn here at Blackwell. Rachel Amber absolutely had sex with him. Well, I heard that from a good source.
Rachel was like her own club. She was actually too cool for us. Hell, even that shifty Rachel What's-Her-Face asked me once if I'd drive her to Los Angeles.
She hasn't had a good friend since you or Rachel. Oh, those clothes remind me so much of her. Such a sweet girl.
I was 14. We were best friends.
Even sunlight can cast shadows. Rachel did both at once, you know. She was like a battery. Positive and negative.
She seems to never be truly real, only portraying the parts of herself she wants certain people to see. She's pretty, popular, interested in modeling. She's a rebel who jumps on trains and is willing to run away from home. She comes from a district attorney father who paid off her biological mom to stay away and then hired someone to kill her when she didn't. There's a whole thing that isn't all that relevant to my point. She's also only 18 by the time she dies. Her missing poster lists her as 19, by the way, but that's only because it wasn't known that she had died 6 months before the events of the game. No matter your opinion on her, it isn't exactly important. Point is, she was a victim. Not just to Frank, but also to Jefferson, her family, the people around her, and even herself. It's just a shitty situation all around, which is what makes her story so tragic.
Chloe, you don't know shit. You were part of her problem. Always trying to take her away from me. Always!
Before the storm, it's shown Rachel and Frank met at least when she was only 15. And this is the look he gives her.
Hey, Price. Nice wheels.
Yeah. Even if they didn't start their relationship until later, they still met when Rachel was a child. And yes, 15 is a child. Yeah, she's a teenager, but teenagers, especially in comparison with the 20 to 30-something-year-old man, are kids. She's in school and can't even legally drink alcohol. The main thing she should be focusing on are passing tests and performing well in the school play. And, like, everything with her dad, but that's unrelated. Even if they didn't start anything, didn't even interact until she turned 18. It's still weird. Yeah, it's legal, but she's still in high school. She's a stupid kid who doesn't even have a steady income of her own. She sees herself as mature and clever, but she's a stupid kid while Frank is an old man. Chloe even writes old for his age in her own journal. And also, I don't want to come off as too harsh here by saying Rachel is a stupid kid. She isn't stupid because she's a victim. She isn't stupid for not recognizing predatory signs. She's stupid because she's young and doesn't have life experience. In case you're still curious, don't worry. I, too, am a stupid kid. I only just graduated high school, something Rachel didn't even get to do. And even I can acknowledge that I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Adults, fully formed adults, have no business hanging around a high school messing around with children. I think there's also something to be said about the way Frank hangs around Blackwell to prey on impulsive teenagers who are willing to blow all their money on drugs. This kind of helps point to the way he's willing to exploit young people for his own gain. Frank is speculated to have made a blood oath with Rachel.
Eventually he will. Guy's into some freaky shit. He told me once he took a weird blood oath for Rachel. Forget I told you that. Seriously.
Weren't you supposed to keep your mouth shut about the blood oath Frank took for Rachel?
Blood oath? What the fuck? I never told anybody about that freaky shit.
He wears her bracelet.
Where did you get that bracelet?
A friend, and it's none of your goddamn business. You're my business now.
That's Rachel's bracelet. Why the fuck are you wearing her bracelet?
He carries a photo of them with him at all times.
She let him take pictures, then he carries around her photo like she posed for love. Dumbass.
You know I saw that photo Rachel gave you.
How do you know about that? Huh? Chloe, right?
She just told me that one of Rachel's favorite pictures was the one she did for you.
Really? Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought. She was just a natural beauty, you know? Wait, let me find it. Here, judge for yourself.
Rachel said she gave you one of her favorite photos. That proves how much she cares. And you care. That's why you have to help.
How the hell did you know about that photo? That's my favorite picture of her. I can look at it any time and she'll always be there for me.
He literally keeps her letters in a vent along with normal photos and... Oh! And that picture, too, yeah. And by the way he speaks about her, it's clear he does love her.
I can't stand not knowing where she is. Not hearing her voice or her laugh anymore. The only way Nathan could have done that is if I sold it to him. I killed my lioness. No. What have I done?
How do you know these are Rachel's clothes?
Because she looks beautiful in them and you look like ass. Aiming a gun doesn't make you any sexier. Rachel. Oh, God. She was the one good thing in my life, Max.
So, if he loves her, he can't possibly be a bad guy, right?
Don't you accuse me of anything. You don't know me or who I am, or what I can do. You understand? Huh?
So, is Frank bad? Is he a bad character? A bad person? Maybe. He's certainly a very gray person. I think his character is quite gray as well. I just wish the game called him out more instead of brushing off his relationship with the teenager.
That was cool Frank gave up the code to help us. Rachel must have seen something good in him.
Frank is flawed. He sells drugs and dated a teen girl. But he does like dogs. You like dogs? And aw, look, he rescued Pompidou from a fighting ring. How cute. People who are nice to dogs can't possibly be bad. And aw, look how he talks about Rachel. It's obvious he loves her very deeply. And man, he really does let Chloe get away with a lot. And this is where I think the gray morality is really obvious. The key thing to keep in mind, though, is that doing bad things doesn't make you a bad person, just as doing good things doesn't make you a good person. We all screw up, but we don't all date children.
Now why are you losers really here?
Yeah, I tricked you into learning why pedophilia is bad, actually, under the guise of listening to me talk about a character from a video game that came out 11 years ago. And I'm going off script here. This was written a couple weeks ago as I'm recording this, and this is what I have written. Lately, my YouTube feed has been filled with the Cody Ko and Tana Mojo situation. And then I was gonna, give a brief rundown. And it's been, a million other people at this point. a million other people. There's like, what's her name from Mr. Beast? And Mr. Beast himself, I think. There was, oh man, that one girl, I just watched a video about it today. She's a model, I'm blanking on her name. There's like a million people. Like, it's not hard to not date children! Lately, it seems more and more people are being found out to be groomers, creeps, pedophiles. Remember last year when the internet was blowing up in the whole Miranda Sings / Colleen Ballinger situation? Even more recently, I saw a video about Jack going off script. Even like, there's so many. And hey, remember that Kendrick Lamar and Drake drama? Hey, what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, Frank Bowers.
In other words, to do the right thing. Me too. And maybe you're helping me get there, Max.
Why is it, time and time again, that we see adults dating minors? And why is it so often adult men dating young girls? Obviously, there are disgusting people of all genders who will take advantage of anyone, regardless of gender, that they can get their grubby hands on. But this is about Frank and Rachel, an older man and a younger girl. I think part of the issue is the way we constantly sexualize young girls. They're mature and fertile, unlike all those old hags in the man's own age bracket. Girls are also often taught to seek male validation. Adults are constantly, even if unintentionally, pushing the idea that what men think of you is the most important status symbol. My friend and I were once talking about a teacher we both shared at different periods of class, because he said a lot of weird things. In my friend's class, there was this girl, I believe she was in a crop top. Our teacher told her something to the effect of, "Men will want you if you dress like that." Which makes this funnier to me is that the girl was constantly restating that she didn't even like men anyways, but she also brought up the fact that grown men shouldn't want her because, again, we were in high school. And we all know the Oscar Wilde quote, "Life imitates art far more than art imitates life." When we see things so normalized in the media we consume, we start to take on those same ideas. Of course, we also have to keep in mind that it's usually the people who are already susceptible to harmful behavior who will participate in it. That's why the video games cause violence argument falls apart. A person without violent tendencies will not engage in violence just because they're playing a first-person shooter. However, predators can often point to these examples as why their actions are okay. I've never seen Pretty Little Liars, but I know a student ends up with their teacher. Predator can point to this and say, "See? Isn't that romantic? We're just like that." More so, it's incredibly dangerous for young girls to see this normalized. By seeing what's-her-name date her teacher, and for that to be treated as normal or romantic, it can easily get into their minds that that is what they need to strive for. Oh, but of course, not all men are good. Jefferson takes advantage of young girls. But Frank is one of the good ones. He would never hurt Rachel. He loves her.
It's too late, she's gone! You don't even know her!
Like you did? I loved her, asshole! And she loved me.
Yeah, maybe he does love her. But it isn't real love. Real love is consensual. It's respect of boundaries, taking accountability, responsibility, the lack of abuse, equality. Frank doesn't make the cut. The inherent power dynamic is a big one. A 30-year-old and a teenager are never going to be equal. Frank has way more life experience than Rachel. He's been around. Rachel doesn't personally know much outside of her own little bubble. She lives with her parents and goes to school. But Rachel consented. She said yes and willingly engaged with him. Even if Rachel is attracted to Frank and would label this attraction as love, even if she never said no, or, more importantly, did say yes, it still isn't consensual, not if the relationship started when she was underage, which she likely was. You want to know why? It's because adults hold responsibility for not fucking around with minors. It's that simple. Kids don't know how to properly consent. That's why there are laws. And don't start with the, "Oh, but in insert country here it's perfectly legal." Okay, but it didn't happen there, and even if it did, the adult is throwing all morals out the window just to screw a young girl. Let me ask you this. Why would you want to traumatize someone? Whatever the reason, it isn't right. No one has any right to fuck someone up for multiple years, or even the rest of their life. It's reprehensible. It isn't real love, no matter how much you believe it is. Even Frank acknowledges that she was young.
I knew she was too young. I expect her to leave me, just not how it happened.
So why did he continue a relationship with her? It's because he's selfish. Frank doesn't care about what effect this will have on Rachel. He only cares about his own desires.
Look at your eyes dilate. You're worse than a junkie, Max. But no fix for you.
Frank functions based on lust in his relationship with Rachel. And lust is often very selfish, especially compared to love, which puts others first. Lust is hungry, wanting to consume. And this isn't me being a prude, this is just me trying to make a cool analysis. You can have sexual attraction intertwined with love, but I think lust itself is a detached idea that views the other person or people as objects at your disposal. It's like a parasocial relationship. If you say you love that celebrity, that isn't real love. It's a type of lust. Frank is lustful. Frank is selfish. Frank is looking for something to consume. He doesn't care about the potential long-term effects this relationship will have on Rachel. He doesn't care that he's taking advantage of her naivety, her emotional dysregulation that she's been so clearly facing. He doesn't care that, as far as anyone knows, she has this whole life ahead of her, where she gets to pursue a modeling career far away from Arcadia Bay, where she can break away from the toxicity of her family, where she can properly experience being an official adult. He doesn't care, and that's the common theme. They just don't care. Lust doesn't care. Love does, and as I previously defined, Frank isn't truly experiencing love. He's lusting after a teenager who can't properly identify that this relationship is wrong.
Man, there is something about you that is so wrong. I don't trust you at all. Now get out of my face.
I don't have a profound message for this video. Don't date minors. It's a simple conclusion that many people have come to before. But what I haven't seen talked about as much is how Life is Strange presents us with the relationship between Frank and Rachel, but doesn't do much to highlight it as wrong outside of how it makes Chloe feel.
That makes me ill that Rachel posed like this for Frank. Or wrote him love letters. I can't believe she was banging Frank. Rachel straight up lied to my face. Why didn't she say anything?
Because she knew how you would react.
And she wasn't much of a friend, huh? Just another person who shits all over me. Why does everybody in my life let me down?
You'd think that if your missing friend was found to have been dating your drug dealer, it might raise some questions of the ethicality of your dealer. And don't get me wrong, I'm not mad that this was depicted. I think that it's actually really important for this kind of stuff to be depicted. It's like the whole pro-shipping thing, which I still don't fully comprehend. From what I know, I'm on the side of, it isn't wrong to depict anything, but we need to use caution when going about it. We have to remember nothing exists in a vacuum. People are going to be influenced by media, and media is going to be influenced by people. As people who consume media, we need to talk about what's in it. And Frank Bowers, from the Life is Strange games, is a great character. He takes advantage of teenagers, and he especially takes pleasure in exploiting Rachel Amber.
So what do you hardy boys want?
But on the inside, he has a soft spot for his lover. She, a long fuck. It is not that hard to date children. Do not date children. Sorry. Even more recently, I saw a video about Zach fuck. Going off script. Even ooh, I forgot about that guy. Predators can often point to these examples as why they're as fuck. It can easily get into their minds that this what? The inherent power dynamic, or even the rest of their life. It's fuck. Can I say this paragraph again? He doesn't care that he's taking care. Where he can break away from the toxicity. He doesn't care that, as so far as oh my god, why can't I speak? From what I know, I'm on the side of it isn't wrong to depict it isn't wrong to depict anything, but oh my god, can I just breathe?